I want us to pray for one more thing. One of my sons in the Lord, who is a pastor in Kaduna State, brought something to my attention. He said there are some new laws. They call it El-Rufai new laws. This is a message to El-Rufai. And I want him, if these things I'm going to read out is true, he has 7 days from now to reverse it. Otherwise, he will not be able to stand the wrath of God that will come. He said in Kaduna, number one, in Kaduna, you cannot preach without license. El-Rufai, who told you that? He said every preacher will have to go and get only 1 year license, renewable every year. That is, you must always preach. You must preach. You must always preach without an expired license, or you reach 2 years imprisonment. El-Rufai. Herod. Number 3, he said, if you invite any external preacher, i.e. a preacher outside Kaduna State, he says such person must be licensed for the duration of his or her stay. And the body issuing the license has the right to reject the external preacher they feel is not qualified to preach in Kaduna State. Every preacher who wants to be licensed will appear before a screening committee. If he or she is case true, he or she will only be given a license for 1 year. Number 5, he said the law criminalizes the use of CDs, flash drive, and other communication gadgets, except in religious building or inside your house. That means the law says if you cannot play CD, you cannot play a message outside, even in your car. Number 6, even in your house. That means, number 6, that means you'll be arrested for listening to preaching or religious music inside your car or in any open place except in your house or religious building. Number 7, if you preach without license, you are guilty of offense, punishable with 2 years imprisonment or a fine of 200,000. You can't use microphone in your church after 8 p.m. You are guilty of offense, punishable with 2 years imprisonment or a fine of 200,000. That means you can't have night vigils. Number 8, since all preachings must be done within a building, it means public evangelism will be criminalized. So you cannot go outside to preach to somebody to accept Jesus. Those who preach early morning, known by some as morning cry, and preaching inside bus, if arrested, will be fined 200,000. Number 9, this could also mean people will not be allowed to go out for evangelism or streets or move with vehicles with address systems to advertise their programs. Please, it's time for the church to pray. Now, from the law I see here, this is anti-Christ and anti-Christianity. El-Rufai, this message is for you. Listen to me, El-Rufai. The God we serve is not a dead God. Other religions fight for their God. We don't fight for our God. Our God is able to fight for himself. Other religions fight when they insult their prophets. We are not fighting for our God. Some others carry their gods, but our God carry us. El-Rufai, God says I should warn you. You have 7 days to upturn this law. If you refuse to do so, God will visit you. God will visit you. God will visit you. That is why the man removed his Christian deputy governor and brought a Muslim as a deputy governor. And we are not practicing Islamism. We are practicing a free nation where everybody is allowed. But why will one person? We have grown beyond that. Now, El-Rufai, if this law truly came from you, this is a warning from God. You have 7 days to reverse this, or the wrath of God will come upon you. El-Rufai the Herod, this law will not stand.
Amen.
As surely as the Lord liveth, if you go ahead with this law, within 2 years of your second tenure, you will see God of the Christians.
Amen.
It's a warning. You might take other prophet for granted, but this is from God. It's a warning. You can't take Christians for granted. Reverse it or you see God. You have 7 days to do so.